On this week's Prime headlines, President Aquino says a conspiracy is behind the Sabah standoff and says the government will go after the groups behind it. Filipino gunmen in Sabah survive a bombing raid and ground offensive by Malaysian security forces. Catholic cardinals named Pope Francis the new pontiff after the two-day conclave. 11 Filipino businessmen made it to Forbes' 2013 list of world billionaires. And tons of web hits made it to this week's Prime Trending Wrap. Is your pick one of them? You are watching Prime News Weekly.
And I'm Balicudiong. This is Prime News Weekly. We begin this week's newscast with a 3-week-long standoff in Sabah. President Benigno Aquino III says a conspiracy is behind the Sabah standoff. The government says it will go after the groups that it believes are behind a conspiracy with the Sultanate of Sulu. President Aquino says that Sulu Sultanate Milour III could not have launched the Sabah operation on his own. This comes as a response to criticisms on the government's handling of the Sabah standoff.
Hindi po kakayanin ng angkan ni Sultan Milour III na gawing mag-isa ang ganitong uri ng pagkilos. Kapansin-pansin din ang nag-iisang linya ng mga kritiko para gatungan ang malubhanang sitwasyon. Mulat tayong may mga taong nagkuntsabahan upang humantong tayo sa sitwasyong ito. Isang sitwasyong walang agarang solusyon. Ilan po sa kanila ay nakikita natin, habang ang iba naman ay nagkukubli pa rin sa dilim.
Kiram's followers sailed to Sabah on February 12 to reclaim the territory as their own. On March 1, a shootout between the Filipino group and the Malaysian security forces leaves 14 people dead. Another clash Saturday in Sempora, 300 kilometers from the bloody site of Lahad Datu, raises the death toll to at least 26. Aquino calls on remaining armed Filipino in Sabah to surrender, saying there is no room for negotiations if they continue to bear arms.
Saksi tayong lahat sa kakayahan at dedikasyon ng ating mga kapatid na Muslim. Handa silang makipagtulungan tungo sa pangmatagalang kapayapaan. Hindi pa rin nagbabago ang panawagan ko sa angkan ni Sultan Milour III. Hindi reasonabling humingi ng pangunawa kung nakatutok ang iyong armas sa muka ng iyong kausap.
Aquino also downplays the reported crackdown on Filipinos in Sabah, calling the reports alarmists. He says Malaysia's response against the Filipinos in Sabah should be put in context.
Magprangkahan nga po tayo. Kung baliktad ang sitwasyon at sarili nating komunidad ang pinasok ng sinumang armadong grupo, pwede bang magwalang kibo na lang tayo? Hindi rin ba tayo magpapasaklolo sa pamahalaan? Kahit naman po anong lahi, basta may banta sa kanilang kaligtasan, papalag at gagawa ng paraan upang mailayo ang kanilang mamamayan sa banta ng karahasan.
Filipino gunmen in Sabah survived bombing raid and ground attacks by Malaysian security forces. Sulu Sultanate spokesman Abraham Ijiran says the group moved outside the area before the assaults began. More than 200 armed men loyal to the Sultan refused to leave Sabah for about 3 weeks. Online newspaper The Star quotes Malaysian police sources saying, quote, "The Sulu armed group was totally routed by Malaysian security forces' overwhelming firepower," end of quote. The Filipinos are followers of Sulu Sultan Milour III. They sailed to Sabah on February 12 to reclaim the territory. Malaysian police say the situation is now, quote, "under control," and there are no casualties. Ijiran says he spoke with the leader of the standoff in Sabah to confirm their safety. In a statement, Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak says, quote, "The government must take action to defend the country's dignity and sovereignty," end of quote. He adds all efforts to prevent bloodshed have, quote, failed. Shootouts between the Malaysian security forces and the Filipino group first broke on Friday and continued over the weekend, killing at least 27. The criminal case against Senator Panfilo Ping Lacson about the 1995 Coratong Balicudiong rob-out was dismissed by the High Courts last Monday. And Amylou Oyco gives us the details live from the Supreme Court. Amylou, what's the latest there?
Yes, Matt, the Supreme Court dismisses with finality the murder case linking former National Police Chief and now Senator Panfilo Lacson to the 1995 Coratong Balicudiong rob-out. In a ruling dated January 15 and released Monday, the court denies the motion for reconsideration on the dismissal of the case against Lacson and 33 other policemen accused of killing members of the Coratong Balicudiong gang. The Supreme Court says there is, quote, no substantial arguments were presented to warrant the reversal of the questioned decision. And that's the latest from the Supreme Court. Back to you, Matt.
Thank you very much, Amylou. That was Amylou Oyco reporting live from the Supreme Court.
Election stories now. The Diocese of Bacolod last February 28 urges voters not to choose 7 senatorial candidates for supporting the reproductive health law before going to the midterm political arena. Calling them Team Patay or the Death Team, the diocese named Senators Loren Legarda, Chis Escudero, Alan Peter Cayetano, former Akbayan Representative Risa Hontiveros, Cagayan Representative Jack Enrile, Aurora Representative Sonia Angara, and Bayan Muna Representative Teddy Casino in its campaign. 5 of the candidates are from administration slate Team Pinoy. Jed Cadsawan files this report.
Team Pinoy is in Bacolod City in Negros Occidental, a vote-rich province with about 1.5 million voters. The province is known as Danding Country, the territory of Nationalist People's Coalition, or the NPC founder Danding Coangco. 5 of the 7 legislative districts here are controlled by his party mates. The other 2 belong to the Liberal Party.
While the Liberal Party and NPC are coalition allies, this province cannot be expected to deliver 12-0 victory for the Team Pinoy slate.
2 NPC members are running for the Senate. Re-electionist Senator Legarda is running under Team Pinoy, but Cagayan Representative Jack Enrile is running under rival slate United Nationalist Alliance or UNA. This province is expected to carry both Legarda and Enrile, but there's a new development that could threaten Legarda and Enrile's advantage in this vote-rich province. The Diocese of Bacolod City urged voters here to junk 7 senatorial candidates, including Senator Legarda and Representative Enrile, for supporting the reproductive health law, a measure that the Catholic Church vigorously opposed.
It's going to be a battle between powerful political party and influential Catholic Church. Negros Occidental could prove or disapprove if the Catholic vote exists. Jed Cadsawan, Prime News.
Team Pinoy senatorial candidate Cynthia Villar apologizes to the Filipino nurses for her statement on them. Villar tweets her apology. She says in Filipino, "I sincerely apologize to all the nurses and their families who were hurt by my response to the question I was asked on TV." In a senatorial forum on GMA News TV, economist Winnie Monsod asked Villar to explain why she opposed the move to close nursing schools that did not pass the standards of the Commission on Higher Education, or CHED. Villar, who is chairman of the House Committee on Higher Education, explains she favors the student who wanted to continue their schooling. But a part of her response became controversial. She said in Filipino, "The nurses do not need to finish Bachelor of Science in Nursing because they only want to become room nurses." But the Villar thinks she was badly misunderstood.
Question na lang po, kung ganun pala ang istorya, bakit bumaba pa ang mga nurses na na-employ sa abroad kasi hindi sila qualified? In other words, if it's only a matter of investment, bakit po hindi sila ma-employ? At bakit po nag-resign ang Technical Nursing Education Committee at saka nag-resign after only 7 months in office? Do you think they just did not understand?
No, there was Yung pagre-resign po ni Father is a personal quarrel with the owner of a school. Medyo personal po yon. Pero yung amin po, ay sinasabi po namin sa kanila na actually, hindi naman kailangan ang nurse ay matapos ng BSN. Kasi itong ating mga nurses, gusto lang nilang maging room nurse. O sa Amerika or sa other countries, ano lang sila, yung parang mag-aalaga. Hindi naman sila kailangan ganun kagaling kasi sa ibang countries.
Activists file an appeal before the Commission on Elections Wednesday to investigate President Benigno Aquino III. The groups say Aquino used government funds to campaign for the administration ticket. In a letter to COMELEC Chair Sixto Brillantes, the groups slam Aquino for, quote, allegedly distributing PhilHealth cards and rice to residents in Bohol last February 14. The same day, opposition group United Nationalist Alliance held its Bohol sortie. The group says the distribution should have been done before the election period by public health officials, not the president and his allies. In a statement last Thursday, PhilHealth says the allegation is grossly inaccurate and that the cards were local government-initiated health cards. Presidential spokesman Edwin Lasierda says the cards were given to beneficiaries of the Moro Islamic Liberation Front as a gesture of goodwill. The Omnibus Election Code prohibits the use of public funds for an election campaign. Cardinals all around the world gather at the Vatican City to elect a new pope. More stories when we return. You are watching Prime News Weekly. Stay tuned.
It was a very memorable experience namin dalawa kasi plano namin, simple wedding lang, pero yung kinalabasan niya, extraordinary one.
Kinagabihan pala ng wedding namin, August 7, grabe na talaga yung ulan nun.
Yung mga attend ng kasal namin kasi nanghihingi sila ng confirmation kung tutuloy ba namin yung kasal kasi sobrang taas na din ng tubig. Pati yung photographer po kasi tinatanong kung tuloy ba namin yung kasal kasi medyo may tubig pa. Ang dami na namin nare-receive na calls, pati kami dalawa nagtatawagan.
Pero ang nire-reply namin sa kanila, tuloy talaga ang kasal kahit na ano mangyari. Buti na nga lang kamo, nakapag-register na kami agad dun nung kinagabihan pa lang ng...
Naka-only na kami parehas.
Naka-all-knit na kami, combo ng blue.
Kaya hindi masyadong hassle. Yung pagtitext namin, pagtatawagan sa ibang naming mga kasali sa kasal.
Pagpasok ko ng simbahan, parang...
Hindi ko alam na nag-march pala lahat ng entourage ko sa sa tubig.
Bago po kami lumabas ng simbahan, sinalubong po kami ng mga tao na nakakita sa amin. Talagang na-amaze sila, nagulat sila. Kaya yun, nag-request sila ng ng kiss.
Pero talagang tama yung sinabi ni Father na for better or for worse, through thick or thin.
Through texts and calls.
Tama, natuloy din yung kasal namin. We're glad to be Globe.
Lazada.com.ph, the Philippines' online shopping mall. Just click and we deliver right to your door with over 10,000 items to suit your lifestyle. It's the safe, easy, and convenient way to shop. Lazada.com.ph.
This is George. He is a good little monkey and always very curious. One day, George got an important letter. He's built a rocket ship to travel into space. It's just the right size for a clever monkey. Do you want to go into space, George? You will have to be very brave.
Hi, Grandma.
Oh, hi, my little monkey.
Here.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Everyone got on and they were off to the launching site. moon is 238,900 miles from Earth. The great moment had come. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now, Catholic cardinals all around the world finally came out with the first Latin American Pope. First time in 1,000 years, the Roman Catholic Church has a Pope who's not from Europe, and first time ever, he's from the Americas. He is Argentine-born George Mario Bergoglio, or henceforth be known as Pope Francis, which is a name that is also a first.
Fratelli e sorelle, buonasera.
The pontiff spoke in St. Peter's Square informally when the Italian he knows well from his family or his Italian heritage.
Ma liberaci dal male.
He led it in prayer both his predecessor, Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI, reciting the Lord's Prayer. The 76-year-old pontiff is a Jesuit and has been a leader of an American church that is the largest in Catholicism. In his native land, Buenos Aires, he built a reputation as an enthusiastic teacher and a simple priest with a humble sense of humor. 8 years ago, Cardinal Bergoglio was runner-up to Benedict, whose resignation last month threw the church into turmoil. White smoke billowing out of the Sistine Chapel chimney ignited celebration not just in Vatican City, but also around the world.
Park Geun-hye sworn in as South Korea's first female president last February 25, with zero tolerance with provocation from North Korea. As leader of Asia's fourth largest economy, Park faces challenges including slowing growth and soaring welfare costs in one of the world's most rapidly aging societies. Park calls on North Korea to, quote, abandon its nuclear ambitions without delay and rejoin the international community. Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez died Tuesday after months of battling with cancer. An emotional Vice President Nicolas Maduro, who will be Chavez's successor, announced the news. He says the army and police have been deployed to accompany and protect our people and guarantee the peace. Leaders in Latin America expressed their condolences, while the United States say this could lead better diplomatic relations. The Venezuelan foreign minister said Maduro will be the interim president and an election will be called within 30 days after Hugo's death.
Business news now, 11 Filipino business tycoons made it to Forbes' 2013 list of world billionaires, up from the 6 who were included in the list last year. Tycoon Henry C. Sr. remains the richest Filipino with an estimated wealth of 13.2 billion. He ranks 68th in the Forbes list, up from the 116 in 2012. The second richest Filipino moves up to 248th spot from 314th. The list also includes Enrique Razon Jr. at 258 with 4.9 billion US dollars. Andrew Tan at 345, 3.95 billion US dollars. David Consunji and family at 503 with 2.8, George T. and family at 554 with 2.6, Lucio and Susan Co. at 736 with 2 billion US dollars. Robert Collito Jr. at 931 with 1.6 billion US dollars. Tony Tan Cakchong and family at 1,031 with 1.4, and tied at 1,175 are Andrew Gotianun and Robert Ongpin with 1.2 US dollars. They have a combined wealth of $37.85 billion. In its March release, Forbes lists 1,426 billionaires all over the world with a collective net worth of $5.4 trillion. The country's stock market surpasses its 6,800 mark last week as it closes at a new all-time high on Wednesday. The Philippine Stock Exchange Index closes at 6,835.21 points. The benchmark index rallied at 123.49 points or 1.8%. This is the 23rd record high for 2013 and the 84th under the Aquino administration. However, the peso went up as it closed at 40.69 as against the US dollar from 40.715 yesterday. This week's tech stories will give you an extra eye. How? All the answers after the break. You are still watching Prime News Weekly.
As a tree, as scary as the sea, as warm as the sun, as silly as fun, as hot as fire, cold as ice, sweet as sugar and everything nice. See,
Saan ka man naroroon ngayon, saan man bahagi ng mundo, babalik ka rin at babalik ka rin, babalik ka rin. Malayo man ang iyong narating, sa puso at isipan malapit ka pa rin. Babalik at babalik ka rin.
I play.
I work. And I work out.
I sing. And I shout out. Whatever I do,
the new Windows 8
is perfect for my lifestyle.
No compromises. Work and play as you choose. Discover the new Windows 8.
Welcome back. Now the latest on tech. Do you still remember Google's Project Glass? It is the tech giant's Android-powered eyewear that places information on a transparent layer right above a user's right eye. This week, Google releases a video revealing more details about the device's capabilities. To put it short, the idea of putting a computer in an eyeglass can be the next big thing. You can take Google Glass to take photos and videos of whatever thing you're seeing or experiencing. Look for whatever information in front of you, make video calls, or instant messages. Nothing more is known about this upcoming device, but surely everyone can't hardly wait. Nowadays, Metro Rail Transit or MRT is considered the fastest way to get across EDSA. But it can be problematic if the terminal are congested with passengers, especially during rush hours. Now, worry no more because there is a way you can prevent this headache, introducing the MRT3 CCTV streaming. You can access this freeware by logging on at dotcmrt3.gov.ph/cctv.php. The site is very straightforward. You can choose from any of the 13 MRT stations and gain access to at least 4 CCTV footages of that station: northbound platform, northbound ticketing area, southbound platform, and southbound ticketing area. Through this, you will get to see up-to-the-minute videos of the terminal's situation. This is a project of the Department of Transportation and Communications and the MRT Line 3.
Let's get the latest from the world of sports from Philip Ham in the Prime Sports Desk. Philip?
Thanks, Jamie. For the NBA fans, listen up. Linsanity will come to Manila. Filipinos will have the chance to see NBA superstar Jeremy Lin when the Houston Rockets and the Indiana Pacers battle in a preseason game on October 10 at the Mall of Asia Arena in Pasay. NBA Commissioner David Stern announced last Tuesday via teleconference in MOA that the Rockets vs. Pacers preseason match in the Philippines was already set. Besides Lin, other notable players that the Rockets will showcase are James Harden, Chandler Parsons, and Omer Asik. The Pacers, for their part, will field Danny Granger, George Hill, Rob Hibberts, and slam dunk artist Gerald Green. Rafael Nadal will test his troublesome left knee again this week as he joins the Mexican Open. Then he will decide if he will join the first Master Series event this year at the hard courts of the Indian Wells. Spain's 11-time Grand Slam champion will conclude 3-tournament Latin American comeback tour in Acapulco, playing in his third ATP clay court tournament in 4 weeks. He came back from an injury layoff of 7 months to reach the finale in Villa del Mar, Chile, and followed by the winning the title in Sao Paulo on February 18. Host Adamson University announced that the 76th UAAP basketball season will begin early in June to give way to the country's hosting in the FIBA Asia Men's Basketball Tournament. Adamson Athletic Director Malu Isip said that the event might possibly start on June 29 at the Mall of Asia Arena. In its previous editions, UAAP usually opens late July. The FIBA Asia meet will be held at the Mall of Asia Arena as well as the Araneta Coliseum in Quezon City. And that's the latest on sports this week. Back to you, Jamie.
Thank you very much, Philip. Almost 2 months before the 2013 midterm elections, we have asked some young voters, namely college students, of their thoughts on the upcoming elections. Here's what they have to say on their ideal candidate. Boongaling reports.
Now that the 2013 midterm elections is fast approaching, we asked student voters from universities along Taft Avenue, Manila, on their ideal candidates.
The ideal candidate is someone who is approachable and knows how to be with people.
Someone who is selfless enough to put his duties first before himself.
For me, the ideal candidate for this year is someone who is consistent, responsible, and taking charge of his or her duties and obligations. That's it.
My ideal candidate is someone who is committed and responsible enough to serve other people.
Rolling. Among the 20 students interviewed, 75% stressed the importance on being responsible and non-corrupt. 25% added that the candidates should be consistent. Others shared their insight that it is the voters' responsibility to pick who is the most deserving. All in all, the student voters from the universities along Taft Avenue in Manila says that the most important quality that a candidate must possess is to be responsible. Boongaling, Prime News.
Your weather report and more stories are up next. This is Prime News Weekly. Keep it here.
There are text friends. Always on call friends. Not just Facebook friends. Bring them all together with Go Only 30 from Globe Prepaid. Go call, go text, go share. For only 30 pesos a day, don't just get a network of friends, go get a globe of them. Go make it happen with Go Only 30. Go lang ng go!
Isa pong Pepsi. Basta Pepsi. Ito na lang. Pwede na yan. Pwede na yan. Ubus na medium eh. Pwede na yan. Wala na pong roses. Ito na lang. Pwede na yan. Kuhang-kuha naman ah. Dude, pwede na yan.
Sold out na ang bagong tablet. Luma na lang. Pwede na yan.
Bay, wala ng leader build. Judas built na lang. Pwede na yan. Bossing, wala nang baby labrador eh. Baby aparador na lang. Pwede na yan. May sakit si Ana eh. Ito na lang atin niya. Pwede na yan.
Tindero, sa akin naglalako.
Pwede na yan.
Ako ay ginugoyo ng mga nakakalbo.
Uy! Pwede.
25 years nang pinupuno ng surf ang inyong tahanan ng preskong bango. At dahil sa inyo, naging #1 kami sa Pilipinas. Kaya sa aming birthday, gusto naming magpasalamat sa inyo. Ibo-blow out namin kayo sa Fiesta ng Surfresa. Fiesta ng Surfresa, ang birthday blowout ng surf.
At saka the weather now, Weather Bureau Pag-asa says moderate to strong winds from the northeast will prevail over the northern and eastern parts of the country. Clouds will bring light rains over the Batanes and the Calayan group of islands. Meanwhile, isolated rains will prevail over eastern Visayas and the Caraga region. A gale warning is up on the northern and eastern seaboards of Luzon and the eastern seaboard of the Visayas. So fishing boats are advised not to venture out to sea. Today's temperature on the metro sizzles from 26 to 34 degrees Celsius.
What's happening on the road around Metro, and we have Angelo, Franco on the scene. Go ahead, Jello.
Good day, Jamie, and good day, everyone. Jamie, it's a good start for our motorists for this weekend, as the traffic situation here on the Metro is still light to moderate. Let's start here on our first live point at the Cyrene Avenue corner, Mabini Street. The public utility vehicles cutting across Cyrene Avenue is fast moving. Those you see in the left side of your TV screens are going to the south or mostly to Cavite. The right going to Taft Avenue.
Our next live point is Roas Boulevard UN.
the left going to Baclaran which lightly moving, and the right going to Luneta area moving moderate to heavy. Next live point is Commonwealth Avenue, with vehicles moving fast towards Quezon City Memorial Circle. We want to remind all the motorists that the Metro Manila Development Authority is still implementing the 60 km/h speed limit. Our next live point is Quezon Avenue. Those in the left side of your TV screens are going to Quezon City Circle and EDSA. Those you see on the right are going to Manila, both moving light to moderate. We want to remind everyone that there's an ongoing pipe laying along Araneta Cubao, which covers one lane, so be ready for a heavier traffic situation there.
And that's the latest on the road. Buckle up and drive safely, everyone. Back to you, Jamie.
Thank you very much, Angelo Franco, live from Quirino Avenue. The trending stories of the week up ahead. Prime News Weekly will return after the break. Stay with us.
Sa amin na kayo magpadala. Napakamura! Multuhin man ako ng lola ko.
Mas mura na sa LBC Super Baba Remittance.
May fruit sarap na real! May vitamins for real! Kaya tang fruit goodness for real! Kaya tang ang number one for real!
Let's have an update with what's the latest on entertainment here and abroad from Mimi Ulanday. Mimi?
Thanks, Mac. Now here are the latest in Prime Entertainment. Ben Affleck's Iran-hostage drama Argo won the coveted Best Film Oscar last February 25 in the 85th Academy Awards, which was considered as Hollywood's biggest night. Other winners include actor in a supporting role, Christoph Waltz for Django Unchained, Best Animated Short Film, John Cars for Paper Man. Best Animated Feature Film, Brave, Best Cinematography, Claudio Miranda for Life of Pi. Best Visual Effects, Life of Pi. Best Costume Design, Jacqueline Duran for Ana Karenina. Best Makeup and Hairstyle, Les Miserables for Lisa Westcott and Julie Dartnell. Best Live Action Short, Sean Christensen for Curfew. Best Documentary Short Subject, Sian Fine and Andrea Nix Fine for Inocente. Best Documentary Feature, Searching for Sugar Man. Best Foreign Language Film, Amor. Best Sound Mixing, Les Miserables. Best Sound Editing, Zero Dark 30. Best Supporting Actress, Anne Hathaway for Les Miserables. Best Film Editing, Argo for William Goldenberg. Best Production Design, Lincoln Rick Carter and Jim Erickson. Best Original Score, Michael Dana for Life of Pi. Best Original Song, Skyfall, music and lyric by Adele Atkins and Paul Epworth. Best Adapted Screenplay, Chris Terrio for Argo. Best Original Screenplay, Django Unchained for Quentin Tarantino. And other big winners include Best Director, Ang Lee for Life of Pi. Best Actress, Jennifer Lawrence, Silver Linings Playbook. Best Actor, Daniel Day-Lewis for Lincoln. Well, that's all for the latest in the entertainment scene. Back to you, Matt.
Thank you very much, Mimi Ulanday, reporting for Prime Entertainment. Here are this week's clips and videos from the cyberspace that made it to our Prime Trending list. At number 5,